Did you know that in More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers, Jiro has a hidden talent that ended up saving his class from embarrassment? With summer coming to an end, the school sports festival was starting. Akari was very excited for the festival, as she was planning on joining the cheer squad, unlike Jiro, who was upset to even be a photographer for the event. When the day of the festival came, Akari had told him that he needed to take pictures of the cheer routine. However, when he was taking pictures of the routine, he noticed that one of the girls seemed to be injured. That girl happened to be Shiori's best friend, Mei, and also the anchor for the relay race team, which was the most important event at the school. When Jiro found out about this and confronted her, Minami overheard their conversation and jumped in, saying that he had also noticed her injury and made her sit out of the event, leaving their team one member short. That's when Mei remembered Shiori telling her that Jiro was actually a really good runner in elementary school, and that he used to run track back then. That's when she asked Jiro if he could take her place in the relay race. Despite initially not wanting to, Jiro decided he would be the anchor for the relay race, and when it was his turn to run, he shocked everyone with his speed, and with Akari, Shiori, and the rest of his friends cheering him on in the background, Jiro won the relay race for his class. Did you know that an Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian? Alia and Kuze almost had a romantic moment in front of the entire student council. During a student council meeting, Chisaki and Kenzaki got lost in their own little world. Then Yuki suddenly shifted her gaze to Ayano and began passionately gazing at her. Kuze couldn't believe what he was seeing, but decided to play along with what they were doing. But when he turned toward Alia and said her name, she immediately shot him down without a chance. The atmosphere turned tense as Yuki playfully looked at Alia and said that she'd thought they'd be close enough to do stuff like that by now. Then Yuki traced her finger across Ayano's cheek. This was enough for Alia to call Kuze's name and stare into his eyes. The two of them became locked in a staring contest, and Kuze got lost in her eyes as he started to realize how beautiful she really is. That is, until Masha walked in the room and embarrassingly snapped them back to reality. Did Yuki plan for this? Did you know that in Re:Zero, the reality of the Re:Zero world would have been a lot more tragic if Subaru was never summoned? As a result of Subaru not being summoned into the Re:Zero world, Felt and Amelia would have been unalived by Elsa the same day that Subaru was supposed to be summoned, as he would have never been there to anticipate Elsa's attack on the two girls, and instead, they would end up meeting their tragic fate in the house that old man Ram stayed at. On top of that, Beatrice would have never left the Forbidden Library, as that person never existed, and Subaru wouldn't be there to convince her to leave, leaving her to wait in the Forbidden Library forever. Subaru's absence would also leave Krush and her army to try and fight the White Whale on their own, and that would most likely end up in them being erased from existence from the White Whale's fog, as they didn't have any of the knowledge that Subaru would have provided them with. Garfield would also still be stuck in the sanctuary, as nobody would come and help them resolve their issues, and the Great Rabbit and White Whale would still be alive, terrorizing the world. Do you ever get his memories back in Charlotte? His mission of plundering every ability in the world caused him to forget everything. But is it permanent? The way most abilities work in the world is that there is some type of drawback that occurs whenever someone uses an ability. Now, some examples of this would be how Takajo can't stop wherever he is teleporting to, or how Shunsuke loses part of his vision every time he time leaps. But there's also cases where the ability balances itself out by not being too overpowered, like how Tamori can only be invisible to one person, or Yusa not being able to control when Misa takes over her body. Because of these facts, it's safe to assume Yu's plunder ability has some sort of drawback to it as well. And a possible drawback could be that he loses a part of his memory with each ability he takes. But Tamori's theory that the strain from plundering thousands of abilities would cause his brain to break and forget everything is probably right, because the strain is already a drawback in itself. As for regaining his memories, it seems that Z-End, or music in general, has some sort of effect on regaining memories, because just listening to them allowed you to remember memories of a past timeline, and in the epilogue of the manga, it is basically confirmed that after listening to Z-End, Yu recovers his memory.
What are the vampires' end goal and Seraph of the End? Their goal was never to take down all the humans, as they need humans around for food, and even save the remaining humans after the catastrophe, and instead, their goal is something much deeper. It actually ties back to what differentiates a vampire from a human, as vampires as a race are not only much stronger and faster than humans, but they lose all of their emotions aside from the desire to drink blood. They also never age, and they really can't die. On top of that, in modern times, vampires have basically been forbidden from creating any new vampires, which means most of the vampires that exist have lived for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And this can be incredibly boring, as they have no emotion other than a craving for blood, so they really don't get interested in anything and spend their days trying to find something that does interest them so they don't live in eternal boredom. What makes it even worse is that they can't die, as even when we see them pass away, they actually just turn into demons and then they stay like that for eternity. So they can either live forever in boredom or live forever as a demon, which is why I think their end goal isn't that shocking to hear, as all they want to be able to do is have a normal death like humans.
Did you know that in ReZero, Reinhardt is so strong that he actually had to get rid of one of his divine protections as a kid due to it being too dangerous? When Reinhardt was around 4 years old, his father was tasked with a mission to convince a former knight named Marcos to rejoin the Imperial Knights. After trying to convince Marcos to join, Marcos ultimately rejected the proposal as he had other priorities. This rejection left Reinhardt's father feeling upset, and on his way home, he ran into Reinhardt. Seeing how upset his father was due to failing his mission, Reinhardt asked his dad if he would feel better if Marcos rejoined the Imperial Knights. His dad told him that he would, and after hearing that, Reinhardt used a divine protection that he had that was able to alter or change someone's mind and thoughts without their knowledge, and he used it to make Marcos rejoin the Imperial Knights without ever meeting or coming into contact with him. However, Reinhardt's father would find out about it, and once he found out, he pleaded with Reinhardt to never use that power again, as it was so dangerous to the point where it could destroy nations. And it was not right to alter someone's mind, as their mind belongs to them. Hearing his father's pleas, Reinhardt decided to get rid of the divine protection, so that he couldn't use it again.
Why doesn't Kuze remember anything about his childhood friend, and Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian? He's aware that he started learning Russian because of her and that she was really important to him, but despite that, he can't even remember her name or everything they did together as kids. And the reason for this ties back to all the trauma Kuze's already experienced as a kid, as I think he's one of the most complex protagonists in romance anime, due to the fact that his compassion for others has caused him to believe that he's the sole reason for his family's suffering and problems. And so the way he deals with that trauma and poor experience is just running away and forgetting about any experiences related to them. And in his mind, he would convince himself that any experiences from that time were bad, so he wouldn't go back and remember them and then remind himself of the pain. And something very similar would happen with his childhood friend, as a simple miscommunication had caused him to believe that she was abandoning him. And so when she left and was unable to see him anymore, he believed he was abandoned. And once again in his mind, he related any experiences with her as bad, even if they weren't, and refrained from remembering them to protect himself from the pain. What happened to all of Eris's family after the displacement incident in Mushoku Tensei? We all know what happened to Eris after she got sent to the demon continent, but what about everybody else from her family? Many people know that her parents, Philip and Hilda, passed away sometime after the incident, but it wasn't instant. The two of them were actually teleported together to a place called the Conflict Zone, an area where a ton of small countries were constantly at war with each other, and there weren't any laws at all. And because of that, both Philip and Hilda were captured, and they would shortly meet their end after that. As it happened, Ghislaine was also teleported to the Conflict Zone, and her skills as a swordsman and an adventurer allowed her to survive. She would spend her time trying to search for anybody she knew, and she would eventually find Philip and Hilda, but by then, it was already too late. As for Saros, all we know is that nobles who had a grudge against him, mainly Paimon Greyrat, tried to think of a plan to try and take him out. And that would lead to Saros later getting blamed and executed for the displacement incident and the tragedies caused by it.
Who is the strongest out of the 10 Commandments and the 7 deadly sins? The 10 Commandments were formed when the Demon King split half of his power into 10 fragments and gave them to his most loyal warriors. Each one carried a unique curse that punished anyone who violated it. During the Holy War 3,000 years ago, they fought against the other races under the leadership of Meliodas, before his betrayal changed everything. After Meliodas left, the group was filled with monsters like Zeldris, Esterosa, Drole, and Gloxinia. Galen could destroy cities within seconds, and Melascula could raise the dead. Estarossa, later revealed to be the Archangel Mael, wielded immense strength that even rivaled the gods themselves after he absorbed multiple commandments, but they almost devoured him, and he had to release them. In the end, the strongest of the 10 Commandments was always Meliodas. After absorbing all 10 Commandments, he reached power equal to the Demon King himself, becoming his new vessel before breaking free and destroying him. No other demon, not even Zeldris or Estarossa, came close to the level of strength Meliodas had. Did you know that in ReZero, Rem's love for Subaru has caused her to do some truly ridiculous things? Ever since Subaru saved Rem's life and helped fix her mental state, she fell in love with him and gained immense respect for him. Her feelings for him have caused her to go out of her way to do things that she wouldn't normally do, like how she would wake up extra early every morning just to go see Subaru while he was sleeping, or how she made him ridiculous amounts of mayonnaise after he mentioned liking it, despite not liking it herself. On top of these things, she abides by 3 rules she gives herself when she is around Subaru. The first rule being that she is not allowed to step on Subaru's shadow at all. The second rule is that she has to be careful to not breathe the same air as Subaru. And the final rule is that she has to clean Subaru's room after he falls asleep, and she also has to greet him good morning before he wakes up.